What's up, guys? This is Ryan Johnson with moneybass.com. Back out here again. As you can see, still have things kind of all over the place in here, still getting things organized and stuff like that, but wanted to do a follow-up to the video that I released yesterday regarding the Spybait and the Underspin, or the fish head spin in particular. The addition that I wanted to follow up with that today is going to be this Sebile swim bait. So like I said earlier, I went over the Spybait and also the Underspin. I'll put the links as usual in the description for those videos. Also, the one that goes over the setup for the Spybait. But as far as the Sebile swim bait, I approached that with kind of a 1-2 or a 1-2-3-4 combination. Generally, when I pull up over a spot where I know there are suspended fish or a lot of activity where they may be schooling, chasing a lot of bait fish, what I will start off with is a top water bait. I will come right behind that with the Sebile swim bait that will go just a little bit below the surface. So I'll cover the top surface, see if I can get them to come up and hit that. Follow that with the Sebile swim bait. Then I'll immediately go to the fish head spin, because I can count that down and go a little bit faster to cover water a little bit better with that. But with the fish head spin, I can count that down, bring that through that school of fish. If that doesn't work, then I follow it up, like I said, with the Spybait. But going back to the Sebile swim bait. There we go right there. This size is the 110. And I will show you my tackle box that I have with these. It is a bait that I really like throwing out there. Sometimes, you know how you have a bait that even if you don't use it a lot, you like to have it. It's just like one of your showpieces. To me, that's what that Sebile swim bait is. And the ones that I currently have are the original Sebile swim baits. At one point, I believe they had stopped making those, and then another company may have taken over the production of those baits, and they came back out on the market. If any of you guys, which I'm pretty sure someone watching this will know, if you could put the information that you know about the production of the Sebile swim baits, the new ones versus the original ones that were out, if you have any details on that, please put that down in the description. But for me, this original Sebile swim bait, at one point they were, and I guess they still are, a hot commodity. So they were listed on eBay, and you'd have to kind of do a deep search, and maybe you could find some tackle stores or some people that may have had some Sebile swim baits that did not really know the treasure that they had, and you could go on there and get them at a decent price. But eventually those prices started going up, 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 and up. So if you were to look on there now and you do find some of the original ones, I believe those prices have kind of skyrocketed on those. But what I was doing at the time, and a lot of other guys were doing, is we would get the Sebile swim bait, we would take them to our own custom paint guy that would go ahead and paint those up for us. And for me, the person this one right here, I'll show you a closer look at it in just a minute. But this one right here, I had it painted by Brian at DBK Lures. I will put a link to his website in the description also. If it's something that you're interested in, give him a call and make sure you let him know that Money Bass, Ryan Johnson from the Rod Benders Bass Club, sent you his way. But like I said, I'll show you a closer look at this, and we'll take a look at some of the other sizes and other designs that I currently have. Just trying to think what else. So, okay, so as far as the setup, can't forget about that. Right now, I have this on a 5-gear ratio reel, but I would suggest to put it on maybe a 6-gear ratio, something a little bit faster. But the thing about it is, if you reel this bait too fast, it'll kind of blow out, or the action may not be as good as it could because of the speed of it, and it may turn sideways, things like that. So with me, I will use this 5-gear ratio reel. That way it will allow me to kind of slow down when I need to, or if I need to speed up, that's something that I will mentally be thinking about, like, hey, I need to burn this through that school of fish or something like that to get that reaction bite. So I will wind it a lot faster with that 5-gear ratio, and it will still allow me to burn that bait without blowing it out, basically, or making it lose its original action. I've been throwing this on 12-pound monofilament, but recently I've been kind of experimenting with a few different line types and things like that. But for right now, I'm still sticking with the 12-pound monofilament on it. And as most of you know, the monofilament, it has a little bit more buoyancy than other lines. And so my Sebile swim baits that I have are the slow sinking and the fast sinking. But I think the ones that I pretty much have are the slow sinking version, and they also have a floating version. I've never used those before, but that just kind of goes in line with the type of line that you want to use as far as the action that you want to get. And like I always say, guys, it's best to kind of experiment with different things and just determine what works out for you, because what someone else uses isn't always the best thing for you or what's going to work out for you. But I like throwing this on a cranking rod, something that has a lot of flexibility to it, has a good tip on it, because this is a treble hook bait. And as you know, a lot of times with treble hook baits, the fish have a tendency to throw those if you don't have enough leeway in there for give them some room to play and kind of fight that fish a little bit. So that's it. We got the line, got the reel. This is a lose reel 5-gear ratio speed spool. I believe this is a speed spool, but like I said, 5-gear ratio, 6-gear ratio, something like that. Test them out, see what works best for you. And let's see, this right here actually is a caching rod. I got this through a friend of mine, and like I've told you about some of my other setups, because generally I've always followed and liked the Duckett line of rods, but there are some other good rods out there. But this one right here is let me just give you the specs on this one. This one is a 7.6 moderate fast, medium heavy, and okay, yep, so that's it. 7.6 moderate fast, medium heavy line. So it has some real good action on it. I like the way this feels whenever I'm casting it, the retrieve, everything, even when I'm setting up on some fish. And I'll do a follow-up video with this and go out on the lake and show you guys how I actually use this, and just so you can see me catching some fish with it. But anyway, let me go ahead and show you my tackle box. Just go over a few of those baits in there so that you can see the designs and things like that they put on here. And that'll be it for now, guys. But make sure you guys continue to hit the like button. Always leave some comments, guys. Like I said, I've been meeting a lot of guys out there. A lot of guys have been sending me messages and saying, hey, I watch your content. I leave a comment every now and then. But hey, even if you just say hi or just anything, it will help me out with the YouTube algorithm, just to show the build up in comments. And like I was saying before, the activity on the channel is increasing. The viewers and the subscribers are increasing, guys. So we're making some moves. And another thing I wanted to put out there is, if you are a YouTuber yourself and want to expand your channel, hit me up in the comment section, or send me a message on Instagram, because I'm going to be putting some things together where we may end up doing some live feeds, going over some different type of comments for high schoolers, college anglers. You guys make sure you send me a message, because I'd like to start networking with some of you guys and seeing what we can put together to kind of help everybody out and further the sport itself, and to advance as far as what we're trying to do on YouTube. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and take a look at my tackle box. All right, guys, now let's go ahead and take a look at my tackle box real quick so you can see what my Sebile swim baits look like. So looking at this, I forgot, and I'm glad that I did take a look at this, but I need to get a new tackle box, something that is waterproof, to protect these baits, because they are pretty expensive. And as I see right now, they are kind of valuable because the original ones are kind of hard to come by. But whenever I was purchasing these, I would buy them regardless of the color because I knew that I could always go back and have them custom painted to match whatever design that I wanted. So for instance, this one right here, you can see where the paint has been rubbed off of there, has hook rash, probably teeth marks just from years of use. But I bought this one with there was like a something on eBay where somebody was selling a lot of baits, and this just happened to be one or two of the Sebile swim baits that were in there. So I bought that just so I could get this bait, but I haven't had that one painted yet. And the sizes, real quick, that they come in that I generally get are the, let me see, the smaller size, which is this one. I think that's a 95. Then you have this one right here, which is a 125. And these are the 110s. So I was getting a lot of the 110s, but for me, the 110s and the 125s are mainly the ones that I use. In some lakes where you have smaller bait fish, smaller herring, depending on the time of the year, sometimes you may want to throw that 95. So this is another one. The color on this one looks pretty decent. So I may leave it that way, but more than likely I'll get it custom painted sometime in the future. But like I was saying, as far as DBK lures, that is the person, Brian, that does the custom paint jobs on there for me. So when I would get those, some of them would be just the original plain white like this. Some people do throw them just like that with that color on there, but for me, what I wanted to do was go ahead and get something a little more custom. And if you look real close, you can see how you can notice he has that flake in there, and you can see that kind of purple hue that he puts in there depending on the angle of that bait. It kind of reminds me of how I was showing you guys in that other video with the Spybait. Whenever it moves back and forth, you know, it has a different type of look to it under that water. And as you know, those purples, those blues, that's something that a lot of those large spotted bass like. This was one of the first ones that I had him do for me. I had him put that, you know, that flake and everything in there to give it a nice look and just have that kind of greenish tint. And if you can see right there, he still was able to get that purple hue in there for me. So depending on how you're moving that bait or how that light hits it, it'll give it a different type of look. The other thing I like to do is change the hooks out on those guys. Sometimes I will leave the originals on here. That is one of the original hooks right there. And this one, I've caught some good sized fish on that one, and I haven't had an issue with them coming off. Generally, once I hook those with the Sebile swim bait, I'm pretty good to go. But whenever I do change the hooks out, I like going with the maybe like a Mustad or Gamakatsu triple grip hook. I think that's the style of hook that those are. But let me just show you a little bit closer so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. But yeah, just whatever type of hook you feel comfortable with. But that is pretty much my lineup, guys. If you guys have any questions, comments, please make sure you leave that down in the comment section. And like I said, if anyone knows any more of the history behind the Sebile swim baits, please feel free to put that information down in the comment section. And that's it for now, guys. Look forward to seeing you on the next one.